Well, it's coming down to the wire here for the Grotto Beast Pro League. We have our two finalists, and they're preparing to go head-to-head in the biggest matchup of Grotto Beast history. But while they set up for the final, we have our redemption round between Tall Guy and Esteban the Shadow Soldier. Guys, there seems to be an explosion right outside the Tim Testy Test Center. I'm not quite sure what that's about. Are you okay, Denton X? Are you okay?
Shaken up. Well, I'm all the way over here in Austin, Texas right now, so I'm not really sure. But it sounds like there's been an earthquake.
Yeah. And it's guys. Oh, hold on. Guys, I'm getting word that Biggie Cheese has conquered the Shadow Realm by becoming a Shadow Nuclear Wizard and pledging his soul to the Shadow God to summon the Shadow Wizard Goblin Insanity in order to escape the Shadow Realm, and has promptly killed Esteban the Shadow Soldier, and he will in fact be taking his place in the redemption round. Is this even legal?
I definitely don't think so, and that's a lot of shadows in one sentence. But I guess I can't wait to see. Maybe he's finally mellowed out a bit.
Yes, this can't be legal at all, but I'm not going to tell him that it's not legal.
Yep, I personally am fearing for my life right now. So, good luck to you.
Honestly, I'm not sure how this is going to play out. I'm also getting word that we managed to speak to Biggie Cheese just now, and we got to roll that footage. We got to see what's going on right now.
Hey guys, it's Mike from the Tim Testy Test Center, and I'm here with Biggie Cheese. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing pretty good. It's been about, I'd say, a good 1,000 years since I've been here. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it seems like a really long time. I heard you were trapped in the Shadow Realm. How did you escape, really?
Well, you see, Esteban's first mistake was not knowing who Biggie Cheese the Rat God is. So I used my knowledge of rats, and I did the same to the goblins, and I casted a Shadow Wizard Goblin Insanity across the Shadow Realm, and I trained, became a Shadow Nuclear Wizard, and I got out, and now I'm here.
Okay. So, what happened to Esteban, the Shadow Soldier? Could you tell us that?
Esteban, the Shadow Soldier, is no longer with us. I have surpassed his level of power. I have surpassed anything he thought he built up. And I have done more than banish him to the Shadow Realm.
Okay. Well, are you confident in your ability to redeem yourself for third place?
Confident is an understatement. Mere words cannot describe what I will do to Tall Guy. I will get third place. There's no doubt about it. And if for some reason I don't, Tall Guy may face the same fate as Esteban did.
Sounds terrifying. Well, I think we'll let you guys have it, folks. Have a good one. Guys, I think he's summoning something.
Getting straight into redemption round here.
Tall Guy coming out with Aggro Jammer. We do have an official statement from the CEO of Sukas Productions, who states that Biggie Cheese playing over Esteban, the Shadow Soldier, is in fact illegal. He's not going to do anything to stop it, unfortunately. So we're going to have to deal with Biggie Cheese here in Esteban's place during the redemption round. And here he comes representing the Shadow Wizard Money Gang now over Esteban, the Shadow Soldier. On top of getting a statement from the CEO of Sukas Productions, we also got a statement from the Boofy City PD claiming that it wasn't a thermonuclear explosion that killed Lush Shmiki. It was actually 5 trillion gigatons of TNT, but they're not sure exactly where the explosion came from or how it happened. So I believe it's safe to say that it was, in fact, Biggie Cheese. Speaking of Biggie Cheese, he is playing that Shadow Wizard Money Gang deck. He has the Gem Wizard. The top card of your deck is always revealed, and he can summon the top card of his deck as if it was in his hand. And if it's a wish, the summoning cost is 1 less. Not sure if he'll be able to play the deck as efficiently as Esteban did, but we'll just have to wait and see. And you know, his opponent in the redemption round, Tall Guy, playing that Abacus. When a beast is discarded from play, you may move any cards attached to it to any number of other beasts or grottos that he has in play. Very useful for that Proto Jammer, you know, as we got to see throughout this event. And Tall Guy is looking, you know, he's moving really slow. Like, he looks a little bit petrified here. Just being in the presence of Biggie Cheese, who is now a Shadow Nuclear Wizard. I mean, I would probably be petrified too. I mean, someone like Biggie Cheese, who can already, you know, kill so many people with his sheer power, is now even more powerful. Which means I won't be able to get my revenge for my good friend Lush Shmiki. I'm just gonna have to live with the fact that he's gone forever. And it looks like both players are ready. They're both done shuffling their decks. Tall Guy is going to cut that Shadow Wizard deck. It looks like Biggie Cheese is just straight up grabbing and shuffling Tall Guy's deck. That we saw that maneuver earlier when he was up against Esteban. You know, he doesn't trust his opponent's shuffle at all. He doesn't seem to trust anybody, especially after what happened earlier. So now both players are now going to draw their 6 cards. And we're going to see what happens. Remember, this match is not a best 2 out of 3. It's only going to be the one game. And the winner of this one will take home the 3rd place spot. Biggie Cheese mulligan. Tall Guy seems to be pretty happy with his hand. And it looks like he's ready to play rock, paper, scissors. But Biggie Cheese, he did mulligan, so he's not going to be ready just yet. Still shuffling his deck. He's been shuffling for a while there. Guess he's just trying to get the cards all, you know, mixed around properly. And looks like Tall Guy's gonna tap. Biggie Cheese drawing his 6 cards. He's gonna mulligan again. What's up with this guy and mulligans? He seems to mulligan a lot in comparison to all the other players. He's probably looking for that perfect hand. Biggie Cheese not only is a murderer, but he is a perfectionist. So I guess that's something good that can go on his resume, if he were to ever have one. I don't think he needs a job. He'll just kill anyone that stands in his way or talks down on him in any way, like he did with my good friend, the Shmiki. And he's asking him if he wants to cut or tap. He's gonna cut. Moving very slowly. He's definitely terrified to be in the presence of Biggie Cheese. I don't blame him. I would be too. Maybe now that he's a shadow nuclear wizard, maybe he'll tone down on the senseless killing. That was just a joke, by the way. I'm sure he can hear me right now. Alright, looks like he's happy with his hand. They're going to play rock, paper, scissors now. Tall guy eager to get things started. He already knows what card he's going to play. And let's see. And it's okay. Biggie Cheese is going to choose who goes first. Tells Tall Guy to go first. We're going to see what Tall Guy can do. I'm curious to see how well he'll be able to handle this Shadow Wizard deck. He's going to draw for the beginning of his turn. We're going to see what he plays here. He's taking a good look at his cards just to make sure. He's going to play Book of Wonder for 2. Book of Wonder is going to allow him to search his deck for a Wish or Grotto, and he'll have to reveal it to his opponent, and then he gets to put it in his hand. Maybe he just got a rough start. But even if he did get a rough start, I'm surprised he wouldn't mulligan, to try and get a better hand, but you never know. He may be able to work with what he has. And so we're just going to have to see what card he decides to grab here. Biggie Cheese looking through his cards, looking through what he wants to play. As Tall Guy is deciding what card he's going to grab from this Book of Wonder. And it looks like he's going to grab that JBA. Interesting. He's setting up for something big already. If you don't remember, that JBA will allow him to choose a beast and double its current power, which is very strong when attached to a Proto Jammer, because he's able to use it multiple times for free instead of having to pay that 6 that 6 summoning cost. That is a large cost. Something happened with the lights there. Not quite sure what happened there. We believe it was probably an energy surge from Biggie Cheese's previous encounter with Esteban. From what we've heard from some reports from people outside the stadium, it was a fucking bloodbath. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by much anymore. Biggie Cheese, he seems to be a little bit upset at the at some of the light operators. What's going on? We had a bit of a technical difficulty there. In case you missed it, Tall Guy did pass his turn over to Biggie Cheese here. And he's going to start making some plays here in a second. It looks like he's going to play an open geode, but with a Starbit cluster. So he's going to be able to draw, an extra card along with that open geode, which will allow him to look at the top 4 cards of his deck. He gets to put one in his hand, and then the other 3 go back on top of his deck in any order. So we're going to see how he utilizes that with that Gem Wizard. If he even remembers to flip up the card for Gem Wizard. Seems like he's not really too fond of doing that. Then again, he's not really used to this deck like Esteban was. He's more so used to his rat deck. And so I anticipate that we're going to see a big play here. He's going to go ahead and play that Optimal Illusion. Optimal Illusion will allow him to summon Beasts and Grottos from his discard pile. And anytime he plays a Wish, he will be able to choose one of Tall Guy's Beasts and make it rest. He's going to go ahead and play that Song of Protection. Now Optimal Illusion is safe from any card effects that Tall Guy may summon during his turn. He passes to Tall Guy. Biggie Cheese, he's talking to somebody there. I'm not sure what his problem is now. He seems to have a lot of problems. What the fuck is wrong with, what's wrong with this guy? Sorry about my language there. It's been a long day, especially finding out what happened to my best friend, Lil Shmiki, and still having to work through the pain. It's, it gets real hard sometimes. Sometimes I don't even know why I do it. Tall Guy here, he's going to make a play. He's going to play that Starbit Cluster for 3, which is going to allow him to draw 4 cards. Looks like he's going to be trying to dig up a card. Not sure what card he's going to try and dig up, because I do see that Proto Jammer in the corner of his deck. So it's safe to say that it's got to be on his list of summons. I would honestly try and summon out that Proto Jammer as fast as I can. He's going to summon that Aimbot 3940 instead. When he attacks with Aimbot, he has to roll a dice, and whatever number it lands on is how much damage he can do. So he's going to go ahead and summon that. And he's just going to be looking for more things to play. Sorry guys, sometimes I get into those modes where I think about what happened about a few hours ago. It still doesn't feel real. And Tall Guy, he's really thinking hard about what play he wants to make next. And that is something I really admire about Tall Guy's playstyle. He takes as long as physically possible to determine what the best play is during his turn. And, that's something that, that most people should admire. Because most of the times you see these players, they come in and they start just playing cards willy-nilly. But Tall Guy really likes to sit there and analyze the situation, so then he has a full understanding of what's going on and what he should play next. And that's really, really admirable. Everything down to what cards he's going to put in his summoning pool and in what order. Like, he likes to break down each one of his plays to the fullest. and he'll take as much time as he needs. He's going to go ahead and play clip that. Biggie Cheese will have to put the top 3 cards of his deck into his summoning pool, which will allow for Tall Guy to make more plays. He seems to be eyeballing a few cards here, but we're not quite sure just yet what he has in mind. Looks like he's separating some cards, potentially cards that he plans on playing, or maybe one is gonna go into the summoning pool. We're not sure yet. Whatever the strategy is, I'm sure Tall Guy is going to, execute it to the best of his ability. He's going to go ahead and play another Starbit Cluster for 3 to draw an extra 4 cards from the top of his deck. He's starting to fish out cards that he's going to want to play. And I noticed that he really takes his time with his summoning pool there, because he wants to make sure that he's drawing the cards that he wants to play next. And I believe it is now Biggie Cheese's turn. Our counter there is a little bit glitched. And yes, it is now Biggie Cheese's turn. Biggie Cheese is going to play that Themicro for 4. So now anytime Tall Guy decides to play a Wish, Biggie Cheese will get to draw a card from his deck. Biggie Cheese seems to be slowing down a little bit, maybe trying to follow in Tall Guy's footsteps. He plays at +2. He chooses Optimal Illusion to gain 2 extra power. And he's going to make that aimbot rest, which could put Tall Guy in a bit of a pickle here. Oh god. He's going to go ahead and play that Frog's Breath Potion for 1 from the top of his deck, thanks to the Gem Wizard. Dear god. That Gem Wizard and Optimal Illusion combo is no joke whatsoever. I just noticed that one myself when I saw him play it. He's going to go ahead and play that Zap Bit down for 2. Zap Bit, when attacking or defending, he can discard up to 3 cards from his hand. And Zap Bit will gain 1 extra power for each card he's discarded in that way. He's going to attack for 5, I believe, and he's going to score 3. Tall Guy is going to defend for 2. And he will draw an extra card for defeating his challenger. And we're going to see if he has any more plays in mind for this turn. There's now a section action phase. He's going to go ahead and play that Book of Wonder for 1, which will allow him to search his deck for a Wish or Grotto and put it into his hand. One can only imagine what plays he has in mind. He's really searching for something there. He's going to end up grabbing that Starbit Cluster. I think he wanted to grab something else, but I think he may have scored it. And now he's going to pass the turn over to Tall Guy. Tall Guy just suffered a loss with that aimbot. And it looks like he's going to be playing that emergency rescue, which will allow him to shuffle a card from his discard pile back into his deck. And unfortunately, he only has one aimbot, so he's only going to be able to shuffle the one aimbot back into his deck. I believe Tall Guy does have 3 in total in his deck, but I'm not quite sure. Tall Guy shuffling his deck really well, just to make sure that the the aimbot finds a good spot in the deck. Silly me. I keep messing up. What's wrong with me? Why do I always mess up? God. Sorry there. Sometimes, you know, I just make mistakes that I shouldn't make, but, you know, I'll get over it. And Tall Guy, you know, analyzing his hand. He has a really laid-back approach to this round. He's gonna, you know, seem calm and collected, but deep down we know he's terrified of the void that Biggie Cheese could send him to, you know, if he felt like it. But he's going to be calm and collected for this round, and really just, you know, slowly identify what plays he wants to make. He wants to keep a level head and, you know, focus to the best of his ability. And he seems to be building up some kind of play here. And Biggie Cheese looks like he's getting impatient over there, just kind of toying with his cards. And let's see what Tall Guy decides to play here. He has plenty of cards to work with, so I'm not worried at all that he'll be able to find something here that he can play with. He's going to summon that Proto Jammer, and when summoned, he can attach any number of wishes that he wants from his hand onto Proto Jammer. And during either of his action phases, he can rest Proto Jammer and play any one of those wishes attached to him for free. Looks like he has the 5 cards that he wants to put into the summoning pool. It looks like the wishes that he put onto Proto Jammer are Intimidate and Sneak Thief. Those 2 cards are really, really good at stalling out the opponent, so he could be trying to slow down Biggie Cheese. This could be his plan. Seems like he definitely learned his lesson from Choppa Chop to allow the opponent to play at full speed. So he's really going to try his hardest to slow them down as much as possible. He's going to move that Optimal Illusion to his sideline. I'm not sure if Optimal Illusion is the biggest threat here. And because of that Intimidate, he won't be able to move Optimal Illusion back for a while, actually. He's going to summon Metronomatone for 2. Since he did use that Intimidate, Metronomatone will be able to wake up that Proto Jammer in order for him to make another play. I think Tall Guy is going to use another Intimidate. He's trying to decide between the Thamacro and the Zapbit. He he chooses to move the Thamacro instead of the Zap Bit, surprisingly. That's a little bit strange. He's going to go ahead and pass his turn over to Biggie Cheese. Looks like the referee wants to take a look at what Intimidate does, just to make sure that everything is played correctly. And we can see he has a Sneak Thief attached to Proto Jammer as well, which will allow him to take a look at Biggie Cheese's hand and discard a card from his hand. Wait, you know, not quite sure what Biggie Cheese is gonna do here. He has plenty of cards to work with. He's gonna go ahead and play an open Geode to look at the top 4 cards of his deck, put one into his hand, and the others go back in any order. Doesn't look like he cares about the order at all. Oh, he does, because there's an open Geode on top that he'd be able to play for free. Looks like he's going to do that. Look at the top 4 cards of his deck. And he grabs a Frog's Breath Potion. Very, very interesting. He could use that Frog's Breath Potion to get rid of that Proto Jammer, as Proto Jammer didn't have Song of Protection on him. Either that or Biggie Cheese just likes a challenge and loves to toy with his opponents. But if that were the case, then he wouldn't have lost his temper in the first round. He's going to play that Presto Majesto for 2. He's going to rest Abacus. Because he played a Wish, he can rest Metronomaton as well. I'm surprised nobody thought of that. Now that is a truly devious play. He's going to play Frog's Breath Potion for 2. Get rid of the Metronomaton instead of the Proto Jammer. I believe he's trying to cut Tall Guy some slack here. Take it easy on him. I'm not sure why he would do that. If it were me, I'd be absolutely ruthless. Just like he was on Loshmiki. And it looks like he's going to play +2 onto that Zap Bit. Zap Bit was now going to gain 2 extra power, going up to 3. And then if he discards 3 more cards, then Zap Bit will have 6 power, I believe. Yep, discarding 3 cards. So he will be able to score 6 cards, I believe. Yeah. He's now up to 9 cards in his score pile. He's going to count here just to make sure. He's going to look through his discard pile. He may be trying to find something here. Tall Guy, though, did manage to buy himself some time. Because if he didn't use those Intimidates, Biggie Cheese just would have attacked and won this turn. But because of those Intimidates, it definitely slowed down Biggie Cheese quite a bit. He's going to pass the turn over to Tall Guy. Tall Guy needs to come up with something here. I'm honestly surprised he hasn't figured about, attacking with that Proto Jammer. That I believe that's something that I would have began to try. Looks like Tall Guy is a little bit stumped there. Not sure what to play. He's going to play Emergency Rescue in order to shuffle that Metronomatone back into his deck. He only has the one in his discard pile. Not fully utilizing those Emergency Rescues, but I'm sure it's because he has some sort of plan. He's slowly shuffling. He's probably thinking about what his next play is going to be. Speaking about thinking of what his next play is going to be, before La Shmiki exploded, we were both thinking about what we were going to go get for dinner later. Unfortunately, our plans were ruined permanently. So, yeah. Man. Tall Guy here. It looks like he's making a big play. Something came to mind. He's picking up the speed. He may have just figured something out. Or not. He's slowing it back down just a hair. Probably rethinking the play. The play may not have been in the best of interest. Still, haven't seen him do anything with that Proto Jammer other than those two Intimidates. He does have Sneak Thief, so he could totally check out what's in Biggie Cheese's hands and discard something. If he did that, he'd at least have information on what to expect from Biggie Cheese's next turn. And maybe he'd be able to, set something up to counteract that and kind of push Biggie Cheese into a different direction. Or at least that's what I would do. Looks like he's going to summon another Proto Jammer. He's going to attach 2 cards to it. He's going to summon that JBA, which will allow him to double his power. And he's also going to put that... Is that Energizing Drink? Yeah, Energizing Drink. Wow. He gets to choose a beast in play, and if it's resting, it wakes up. But he's going to pass the turn over to Biggie Cheese instead of using any of his Proto Jammers. He could have moved the 1 up to his team, then use that JBA to attack for 6, but he decides not to. And I believe it could be all over from here. Biggie Cheese is going to play that Emergency Rescue. And it looks like he's going to grab those +2s, so then he can shuffle them back into his deck. He only has 3 cards in his deck, so there's not much that he can shuffle. Tall Guy's going to tap. Biggie Cheese is going to play that Book of Wonder for 2, which will allow him to search his deck for a Wish or Grotto. He's going to grab the +2. He's going to shuffle his deck, which only has 2 cards in it. He's going to ask if he wants to cut or tap. He chooses to tap. He's going to flip that card over. Looks like it's a Spectacular. If it were that other +2, it probably would have been a little bit more beneficial to Biggie Cheese right now. He's going to go ahead and play a +2 onto Zap Bit. And he only has the 2 cards left in his hand. He's going to attack for 5 with Zap Bit. Biggie Cheese is now just confirming that his cards are able to be played, and they are. And he scores 20 cards. Biggie Cheese gets 3rd place. And I'll never get my revenge.